Hey crafters! Today on Wood Burning Wednesday, we are gonna burn Chansey from Pokemon into this piece of wood right here. Chansey, I believe, is a normal type Pokemon, but I know for sure she's in all the healing centers, in the Pokemon centers, and is Nurse Choice chosen Pokemon. So this should be an interesting one. I do hope that you guys enjoy the video, and if you do, make sure you do hit that like button. It really does help out with the algorithm, and I really do appreciate it. So first, we're going to start by just doing a little bit of drawing to get her shape on board, and I think there can be male Chanseys too. Actually, no, what I'm talking about is maybe not, I don't know, but we're just gonna draw lightly, and I think this is gonna be the rough top. So these are gonna be lighter-ish lines, and I just realized I should do it this way. And I'm sorry if this is not quite showing up on your end, but I do need lightness here because I don't want this to be permanent yet. This is to get our bearings, and I'm trying to get with the general the rings too, if you can see. I'm trying to let everything match up. Didn't quite get that line. Okay, so we got a general-ish egg shape. I'm gonna do a smaller egg shape in the middle. I suppose I could actually make this the pouch, because I mean we already got a circle there. So how to make the pouch here. It's not gonna quite line up because it's more of a, it's literally an egg in the pouch, but gotta work with the natural beauty of the wood, I always say. I'm gonna draw her mouth, and let's see, just like that. And they're a little bit darker pink on the bottom, but we'll get the shading in later. You know what it reminds me of is Predator, kind of, general look. So those are the kind of the dreads, and I may have to redo some of that later. But right now, I just want the shape and get her tail in as well, like so. She's got arms. She tends to hold the egg, and I think I made that other one a little bit bigger. Yeah, I made that one a little bit too big. Just a quick erasure, and just draw the feet. She's starting to look a lot like a Chansey. And I keep saying she. I'm pretty sure it is supposed to be a she, and I think it is one of the only Pokemon that has like a specific gender tied to it, but I'm probably wrong on that. And I will be filling in some of the shades later, and I think I do need to bring up her forehead just because she is more of an egg shape, and I don't think I quite got it. Then we move on to wood burning. So I got my wood burner hot, and it's time to get this rolling. So we are starting out with the cone point is actually what it's called. I've been calling it the calligraphy point. This is for fine points, fine lines, dots, and dashes and things like that. And I realize this tail is a bit more pointy like this, so I'm gonna go this way and erase that line. And this is what I want. Putting in a fine line because we want to start marking out where Chansey is actually starting here and where we want to do some corrections later on. Because I am really shooting to try to keep these wood burning videos at like 15 minutes. Because that is I feel like the optimal time frame. My sculpting videos, try to keep those under 30, but it's definitely challenging because there's just so much that goes into them. And I mean, if I do time lapse, I can easily do that because time lapse you can just trim it down and you can get everything into it, but there's just a lot. And I'm still trying to figure out what I should keep and what I should not keep in these videos. It has definitely been one of my biggest struggles. But as you can see, I now have the outline much darker, getting her feet in. And I should figure out what these are exactly for her. I think they're supposed to be tentacles, but they really do look like dreadlocks, just like a weird dreadlock. And I'm not sure what purpose that is. It's very interesting. Hard part, I think, of my drawing here is to get this shaded in. And the other side, which I'm not exactly going to use my lines that I drew earlier because they're more guidelines to me right now. And I also want to match what I did on the other side too. And I'm going to be erasing a lot of these pencil marks. They are always a helpful tool, but they are meant to just give me an idea. I have this side pretty much done. And then we just need to do Chansey's center. And after this, we're going to use the universal point, which is going to be able to retrace some of this, make it a little bit darker, and to do a better lineage. Now, if you're not familiar with wood burning, the universal point, pretty much you can do anything with it. It's just like the basic tool, and that's what I used to use for pretty much everything. But I have learned that I can make my artwork a little bit better with all the other tools that I can now have. They really come out. Details, I mean. My reference image doesn't have a nose for her, so I find that interesting. It does have like a line or a crease underneath her mouth, though. We are good on this part, and we will move on to the next stage. Alright, so the wood burner is hot again, and we are going to start with the universal point this time to fully get in the fineness of the lines. And I got the temperature up pretty high, not the max, so we don't want to go overboard. Because the fine point, the cone point, I mean, it works really well with getting in light lines, but it makes them like dotty, so we do need to correct that with this. And you may actually start to see some smoke rise off this time. It's the best thing in the world to do wood burning, because you get the little bits of smoke. It's like my favorite thing. We do have to go with the head. Well, she doesn't really have a neck, obviously. She's just mostly body. There we are. Much more defined. And then I will have to go in with the universal points. I mean, not the universal point, the shading point to get all the color in here as well. So that way, everything looks good. And there was a little poof of smoke there. And there we are. Okay. And of course the feet. And it can be a little bit much, there can be a lot of darker spots to it, as you can see, if you hold too long on a specific area. And the rings also burn much easier as well, which can be an issue if you're not prepared for it. So definitely be careful if you try something like that on your own, because the rings can definitely burn much quicker than you actually intend. And that's where the dot effect actually comes from, is where the rings are. Because if you notice where the rings the dots tend to be appearing is right where the rings are. Okay, there we are. So that is all the outside edge. Now I just need the inside. And I'm trying to do better on making more cuts preemptively so I can cut down on my own editing. Because it's like for a lot of these videos, like for wood burning, I am now ending up with 45 minutes of footage, but obviously I don't want to make a 45-minute video. I could do that, but I don't think that would do very well, and I don't think a lot of people would really want to watch it because it's very lengthy and it's just me rambling. So I'm trying to keep these down to 15 minutes for a wood burning video, and for my sculpting videos I'm trying to keep them down to about 30, and I want to see how that does. Although I do Minecraft videos as well, and those sometimes end up being like an hour, so I guess there's that. But I am maybe I will try to correct that in the future as well to get lower, less shorter videos. A little bit more shorter videos anyway for Minecraft as well. Although I don't know how much longer I will continue the Minecraft videos. I might just solely focus that on a secondary channel like I was initially intending to do. I just haven't had the ability to focus on that too much as of late. And you can see with the universal point, it has a tendency to make things more liney, so you do have to be careful with that. Like you can see like sharp edges and stuff with it. And it can be a little bit troublesome depending on what you're trying to create. But luckily it does have a point at the back that you can just kind of dot lines with. It becomes a pretty effective tool, I would say. And I'm going to try to smooth down this line. Alright, and I just want to shade in her eyes before I know I could use the universal point. I mean the shading tool, but I'm going to use the universal point because it fits a little bit better in that space, so that's why I'm doing it that way. So for now, that's what we're doing. And then we move on Oh wait, I want to get this a little bit. Alright, well, I'm going to cut this here and you'll see the shading point soon. But I just want to do a little bit more work on this. It's really behind her. And then we just shade the rest. I don't want the shade to be too dark, but I do want it to be distinguishable. So that's what we're doing. And once I have that done, we can officially just put on the sealer, which you will see. Well, you won't see me put on the sealer, but you'll see the finished product. And the reason why I'm not probably going to show the sealers from now on for wood burning is because I don't think it really adds anything, because the wood just kind of absorbs it. It doesn't really change the end product, but you will see it shortly. And you can see all that smoke coming off, because we're going in on the heat. Okay, and I will finish this up and we'll see me shortly. Alright, everything is fully dried, and I actually like how this came out. It looks pretty good. One of my better versions of wood burning. And I know I could have done a little bit better, especially on this side. It is a little bit uneven and not spaced well enough. But I do like the shading and how it looks. This new technique that I'm using is definitely a better one. And I do hope that you guys have enjoyed. And if you have, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and like button. It really does help out with the algorithm and everything. And also, if you want to see what tools I use, I always have that linked out in the description below with my Amazon affiliate links. And if you want to help support me more, I have written a book, and you'll find that in the description below as well. But as always, hope you guys have a wonderful day.